Hi, I'm Anna and I'm the UK tracker for the Adopt Negotiator project. We're here in Tianjin, China on the 4th day of the UN Climate Talks. Talks so far have been going pretty slowly, which is pretty typical for the UNFCCC. Yesterday we had a stock-taking session, which is a session halfway through the talks where they sum up what's been going on so far, how things are going and where they'll go from here. Yesterday, Pete Betts, who's the head of the UK delegation here, spoke on behalf of the EU in this session, and he gave a little interesting story to the session. He told us that it was the anniversary of the death of the guy who wrote the Charge of the Light Brigade poem. The Charge of the Light Brigade, I only actually discovered yesterday, was a bit of a balls up on the part of the British Army, and at the end of it, one of the French marshals said, "This is magnificent, but it's not war." And Pete Betts said, "This is magnificent, but it's not negotiations." What he was referring to is the fact that these negotiations, they're talking about where they're going to meet, when they're going to meet, how they're going to meet. They're not actually talking about how they're going to solve climate change. It's all process, lots of process, no substance, and everybody's pretty frustrated here. So he said this, he was getting quite angry, quite frustrated, and that's the position of the EU. The EU want to do something here, they want something to come out of these talks, but they're just really frustrated that all we're talking about is when we're going to have the next meeting. The quote actually goes on, "This is madness, this is magnificent, but it's not war, it's madness." And basically that's what's going on here, a little bit of madness. We're not talking about how we're going to solve climate change, we're talking about how we're going to talk about solving climate change. So for the next week, all we can hope is, for the next few days of this week, all we can hope is that they start talking about actual substance, they talk about numbers, they talk about how much money is going to be on the table, and that it can start to move these things forward so we don't have the talks fall apart in Cancun or get us nowhere. We really, really, really need them to actually come out with something from Cancun to move this process forward if we're going to have a shot at solving this problem, at getting a global deal on climate change. So yeah, we'll be following the talks here all week. We'll be there in Mexico. You can check out our blogs at www.adoptnegotiator.org. I blog in English. If you speak other languages, Chinese, Russian, French, Spanish, you can check that out there as well. And we'll be just basically letting you know what's going on here in China. So for now, goodbye.